Hello everybody, so now let's get started with the HUD for our timer that we're creating. So we're going to create a actual display rather than using the default view that we have in our for our debug settings, which we wouldn't actually see once we compile our game. We want to create a heads-up display. That's what HUD stands for. That has those graphics that we want on the screen. So let's right click, and I am going to go to user interface and widget blueprint. Let's call this our HUD, HUD. Double click in there, and inside of here I'm going to put a bit of text, and I'm just going to put 00, and under font, let's make this bigger, and let me make this fit around there just so that way visually we are good there. I'm going to create another block here, and let's make a colon, and let's adjust the size. Again, just connecting that there. And then this one here, we can justify all of them. So this one's going to be centered. This one here, I'm going to justify it towards the right. And then I'm going to copy and paste this. It's going to be on this side over here. And this one's going to be justified on the other side. There we go. So we have a timer there for our screen. That's what it looks like right now. Let's close out of this. And if you play, you can see that it won't pop up anything yet. So we need to look at setting that up. Let's go into the side scroller game mode. And I'm going to create another custom event. And let's call this init for initialize HUD. And then over here we're going to tell it to init HUD. There we go. So we are calling that event. And on this event we're going to tell it to create widget. Then we have to tell it which widget we want to create. We're going to create the HUD. There we go. And we want to go and show view. Let's see. Viewport. Add to viewport. And then we'll take the return value and connect that into the target. So we're printing that timer into our screen. Let's close out of that and play this now. We can see that we have the timer there on the bottom of our screen. Go escape. And then now we want to link our variables because we can see that the timer is going off right here, but we want to connect it to the time down here. So we're going to go into the HUD. And this is our minutes. Under the text on the right hand side we can see that we have a bind option here. Let's go there. And we have the text and what it's going to return as the value. So we need to connect it to the side scroller game mode. So we have that side scroller game mode. This is a game mode, so we need to make sure that the function is get game mode. We are doing that. Then the variable that we want over here is the get seconds. So whatever the seconds is, we're going to connect that. Oh, sorry, this is not the seconds, this is the minutes. So let's disconnect that and get minutes and connect that there. Right now we have the minutes set to 0, so it's only going to show 0, which is fine. But if we go in and go to our side scroller and go to minutes and set it to a higher number, like 4, and compile everything, we should have that number there. Now we need to do that to the seconds. So let's go into our HUD, go to seconds, and create a bind. It's going to be similar to what we had before. We just need to get the side scroller game mode. This is a game mode, so we need to make sure that we do the get game mode. In here, what are we looking for? We are doing the get seconds variable, connecting over here to the return value. Let's give ourselves a little bit more space so we can see what's going on. Let's compile all this. And if you wanted to jump back to the designer, you can here, so you can go from the graph to the designer. You don't have to close all the way out. Okay, so I'm going to push play, and we can see we got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So we would likely want a leading 0 here because it looks a little bit weird because time is normally not set up where it just goes to single digits. It's always kind of double digits. So what you can do is go into your HUD display, and over here we have the bind value for the seconds. Let's go into there. It should be okay, so we got that selected. Let's go here. And then this is the seconds. Okay. You can double click on either one of these. We should probably rename this. So this one right here is the minutes. Let's rename this to get min value. And we'll say this is get sec value. Okay, so on the seconds, what we can do over here is where it says to text integer, so we're taking an integer value, returning a value here. That's turning it into a text value. Over here where it says minimum integral digits, we can set this to 2. So that way it gives it a leading 0 at the beginning. So let's compile this and push play. You can see now it goes with a double digit, so it's 0, 5, 0, 4, 0, 3, 0, 2, 0, 1, and then it goes to the double digits here, 59. So at the minimum, it's always going to need to have 2 digits. Okay, and that is how we set up a heads-up display to keep track of a value that we are trying to keep track of. So right now it's only going to say on the top corner, your time is up. When it gets to 000, it's just going to stay at 0. So we can test that really quick by going to the game mode. Let's set the minutes to 0 and the seconds to 10. That's fine. Let's compile here and play this. So you'll see it goes all the way down to 0, and it's going to the negative value. It went to -1 because it checked that it never prints it out here. So let's take a look if we can set that, because we don't want it to go to negative, right? So let's look at it here. So we are looking at the countdown timer. It's subtracting down, and if it's less than 0, it goes over here. Then we check this. For the minutes, we subtract it and check to see if it is less than 0. Then, if not, we print it. So right now, we just print this. So what we can do is set values for them. So we can do minutes, set minutes, set seconds. So we'll connect these here, and we're just going to set it directly to 0. So that way it never displays a negative value. Hopefully. Okay. Let's play this. And see if that worked. There we go. It stays at 0. Okay. So that is the display, the heads-up display. Like we can see, it just counts down its timer for whatever we are doing in here. And then it stops at 0 because the values are just staying at 0. They're not changing after that. Alright. That is it for this video.